If you're using Zoom for your remote meetings, but you're worried about Zoom bombing, don't panic. In this video, I'm going to go over every step to keep your meetings secure. Due to the coronavirus, remote meetings have become increasingly popular, but so has the new trend of Zoom bombing. Zoom bombing is when an uninvited person is able to access your remote meeting, often to disrupt it and cause chaos. Since this kicked off, people have been worried about using Zoom, but there are ways to secure your meetings, and Zoom has just released a new security update. So let's take a look at it. Here we are in my demo version of Zoom. If you've seen my first video that walks you through step by step how to use Zoom, then you'll recognize this. If not, I'll leave a link to it. But the first thing you want to do when you log into Zoom is update it. Zoom has released new security updates recently, so make sure you're on the latest version. That's what we'll be going through today. For additional security settings, and if you want to keep all your meetings going forward secure without having to set it up each time, then click this Settings tab. That'll take us over to this screen where we can do all our settings going forward. Now here we've got the participant video. You want to make sure that's turned off so people can't just jump in and straight away display their video. But again, they can turn that on later. That isn't a foolproof plan, but it is a good starting point. And if we scroll down, you see this join before host. Make sure that is off. You don't want people joining the meeting before you do. So we make sure that's off so you can have control over the behaviors in your meeting. Here's got your personal meeting ID for scheduled meetings, personal meeting ID for instant meetings. Both of those shouldn't be used at this point. You want to make sure they're off. What they'll do is allow you to have the same URL for each meeting. You don't want the same URL for each meeting at this point. Generate a new URL. So if one gets compromised, then your others going forward will be perfectly fine. One of the features you may want to turn on is this only authenticated users can join your meetings. What this means is people will need to have a verified Zoom account. So you can sign up to Zoom for free, but I believe you have to give a credit card. It won't necessarily be charged depending on which plan you choose. But it does mean that if you do anything wrong, then Zoom has your contact details or have a way of connecting with you. And you've been verified by their team. This is great for if you need to report anyone and need Zoom to follow up with their behavior. The problem with that is it means everyone in your team or everyone you invite must join Zoom first. Now, when we scroll down a little bit further, we've got this require a password when scheduling a meeting and require a password for instant meetings. Make sure they're toggled on. So when the toggle is gray, it's off. When it's blue, it's on. So make sure your passwords are on. And if you scroll down a little bit further, it's got require password for participants joining by phone. I suggest having that on as well. And also, if you do use your personal ID, which I don't suggest, you can turn that on. That means that people will have to type in a password. So you send them the link and you send them a password. Anyone that's got access to your link only can't join your meetings. It's another level of security, though does provide one more bit of hassle for them. You can get rid of that hassle by turning on this toggle where it says enable password in meeting link for one click. But you don't want to do that if you're worried about security, because if that link gets compromised, anyone can use that link to join your meeting. So I would suggest making sure they are two separate things, two separate stages, and people have to click the link and then enter the password. And one of the things you don't want people doing is joining your meeting, shouting something offensive and leaving again very quickly. So what you want to do is make sure this mute participants upon entry is turned on. That can be changed at a later point during your meeting, but this gives you a few seconds at the very least to spot someone that shouldn't be in the meeting and kick them out before they've turned their microphone on. If we click this in meeting basic button, it will take us down to more settings. And here we've got our chat setting. Now, one of the ways people are Zoom bombing now is also coming into your chat and spamming it with sales, with rude comments, with things that you won't want in your meeting. Now you can either turn that off completely, or you can turn off private chat and auto saving. I'm just going to turn it off completely so we don't get any public chat at all. One of the features you want to make sure is off is in this basic setting here is file transfer. You don't want people joining your meeting and sharing files with each other that may be a virus or maybe something that you don't approve of. So make sure that's toggled off. And if we scroll down the screen a little bit further, we're still in the basic area, but we've got the screen sharing function. Now you can turn this off completely if you're not planning to share your screen, or you can make it host only. And you can make sure your participants can't share their screen, therefore they can't put anything up you don't approve of. You can also tick this box that says disable desktop screen share for users. You also want your whiteboard feature turned off to make sure people aren't sharing their whiteboards and writing anything or drawing anything you don't want them to. If you scroll down, still in the basic area here, you've got allow removed participants to rejoin. Make sure that is off. That means if you kick anyone out the meeting, they can't just rejoin it and cause trouble again. Once they've been kicked out, that's it, they're out. If you know that you're going to have someone removed from the meeting and rejoin later on, you'll need to keep that on. But in general, you'll be safe turning that off. You also don't want your participants being able to rename themselves. Turn that setting off. You don't want people putting crude names or racist names or anything that may be offensive. Make sure that's turned off. And hide participants' profile picture in meeting. I know it's often nice to see their face, but if you don't need it, you don't need to see who's in your meeting, then you can turn that off. You don't see their profile picture. That may be something that you disapprove of. If we click this in meeting advanced button, it will scroll us down the screen automatically and we'll be taken to this report participants to Zoom. Now toggle that on. So it's showing as blue. What this does is if someone's inappropriate in your meeting, you can report them directly to Zoom and they can sort them out for you. One of the features you'll want to turn off as well is the virtual backgrounds. Now these are great if you're wanting a green screen effect. Maybe you want to make it look like you're on a beach, but at the same time, anything can be created as your background, and it may be something that you don't want to share in your meeting. So I would turn that off so no one can have virtual backgrounds. One of the most important features, in my opinion, is this waiting room feature. It means if someone tries to join your meeting, even if they've got the link and the password, they are put in a waiting room. And when the host is ready, they can accept them to join the meeting. This is particularly useful if someone tries to join and you don't know them. It means they can't get direct access to your meeting. Only the people that you've pre-planned to be there should be able to join. So make sure that is toggled on. That is blue. So here I am in a Zoom meeting. Apologies for the two lots of my face. One's my webcam and one's the camera I'm filming this with. But if I scroll over my webcam face here, you'll see there's a new button at the bottom of Zoom saying security. If I click that, you can see what is and isn't allowed for participants, and we can choose to toggle them on and off from the meeting room. So if we've forgotten to do that earlier or we've changed our minds, we can change that there. Enable waiting room is turned on, so anyone that tries to join this meeting will be taken to a waiting room. But once everyone that I believe should be in the meeting is in the meeting, I can now click lock meeting. As you can see, what that does is stop anyone new being able to join. If someone was late for the meeting, I can just turn that off again and they can join. And then as soon as they're back in and I'm happy that my entire team or my entire audience are in, I can lock the meeting again, and that will stop anyone joining the meeting. The link won't work for them anymore. So I've added my other Zoom account to this meeting and I've moved the screen across slightly so you can see what I'm doing. I've opened up the manage participants section at the bottom here. And as you can see, here is my other account in the waiting room. Now, if I recognize this person, I can omit them. If I don't recognize this person, then there is a remove button. But as this is a person that I have invited, I'll press admit. And it'll just take a second and the screen will change to having multiple people showing at once. Now, if I am finished with this meeting and I've finished inviting people, I can press lock meeting. I can leave it open. But if my other account, say, did something that I wasn't happy with, there are two things I can now do. I can press security and press remove participant. This will give me a list of the participants with the remove button next to the name. And I can choose the person. Or if I want to do it quicker than that, let me just close this one down. Ooh. There it is again. Then if I go hover over the name and click the more button and then remove, it'll give me a little warning saying that that account won't be able to rejoin this meeting. And that's because I've got that security setting set up. So I'll press OK. And it's back down to me and they've been kicked out of the meeting. They can't rejoin. So that was my walkthrough of Zoom's new security features. What did you think? Do you feel more secure when using Zoom now? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next video.